Hey, welcome to Mr. Barker's High School World History class. Today I'm going to be covering TEKS 113.41-2D, which covers the stock market crash and the Great Depression. The stock market crash happened in 1929 and caused a lot of panic among Americans. The reason the stock market crashed affected Americans so much was because companies had a lot of money and value stored in those stocks. And so when those stocks crashed and were lost, it wasn't just the stock loss, it was money that companies and banks had invested in it, as long as the money that people themselves had invested in. The stock market crash was also known as Black Tuesday. Pretty much what Black Tuesday is the day that the stock market officially crashed. Tuesday, October 29th, 1929, and that's when the Roaring '20s officially came to a halt, and pretty much the Great Depression started happening right there when the stock market crashed. In the 1920s, America was booming. It was also called the Roaring '20s because businesses were growing and jobs were plentiful for Americans. Then, like I said, in 1929, the stock market crashed, causing panic among Americans. Stock prices plummeted, and Americans were losing money and going bankrupt. So President Franklin D. Roosevelt tried to fix this. The Great Depression led to the election of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. And what he would mainly do when he was in office was he tried to increase the employment rate and fix the structure of the government to get America back to where it had previously been. And although while he was in presidency, he did not increase the employment rate, but he did get them out of the Great Depression, and by 1941, when the World War II was starting, the employment rate actually did start going back. Okay, so the stock market crash made stock prices plummet with no hope of recovery, and panic struck. Masses and masses of people tried to sell their stock, but no one was buying. The stock market, which had appeared to be the surest way to become rich, quickly became the path to bankruptcy. And yet the stock market crash was just the beginning. Since many banks had also invested large portions of their clients' savings in the stock market, these banks were forced to close when the stock market crashed. Seeing all these banks close caused panic across the country. Afraid that they would lose their money, many people rushed to the banks to withdraw their money and their savings. This massive withdrawal of cash caused additional banks to close. Since there was no way for a bank's client to recover any of their savings once the bank had closed, those who didn't reach the bank in time also were bankrupt. The stock market crashing was very significant in American history. It made the government realize how vulnerable it was and that they had to do something to guarantee something like this couldn't happen again.
My first rifle was a 243. Papa gave Daddy and Daddy gave to me.
Okay, so today I covered TEKS 113.41-2D, which is the stock market crash and how that triggered the Great Depression. You learned that the stock market crash happened in 1929 and that it was a very horrible time for Americans. However, without it, America wouldn't have realized what it needed to do to strengthen its government. It made the government realize how vulnerable they are. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Thanks for watching.